Kumusta kayo? Kumusta tayo po? Today it's April 13 na. It's Monday and I hope we are starting the week. Itong exciting and expensive week po na dahil mahal mga bilihan dyan po sa Pilipinas. Mahal ang presyo ng gasolina, ng fuel natin dyan sa Pilipinas po. That's why we say exciting and expensive week para sa mga Filipinos. But I hope everything is running smoothly sa buhay natin na ngayon April 30 na po. And welcome na welcome kayo lahat mga Filipinos dito po. Mga Filipinos sa Malaysia, particularly dito sa Sabah. Ang mga overseas Filipino workers din po sa mga iba-ibang parte ng mundo. And of course, ang mga kababayan natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. Mga kababayan, kaibigan na relatives natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. Maski paano po, life must go on. No? Life must go on. Meron tayong mga balita dito sa programa natin today. Konting sabihin natin na exciting and exciting and kung minsan nakakainis. No? Ito mga balita natin, may good news and may bad news din tayo. No? For today sa programa natin. Anyway, alright, umpisa na tayo po. Direct to the point na tayo. Ang first topic natin is tungkol ang earlier I mentioned sa programa natin, previous programs natin po, na ang Pakistan is playing the role as a middleman to temporary 2 weeks temporary ceasefire po, no? Between America and Iran. And may mga balita na tayo po galing sa international news po, no? International media. Unfortunately po, medyo very critical and fragile talaga itong 2 weeks, sabihin natin temporary ceasefire dyan po sa Middle East. Why? Because we were made to understand and it was reported that the meeting, the meeting, discussions and meeting 21 hours ito po, walang resulta, no result po. And dahil dyan po, that's why I said it is very critical dahil ang presidente ng Amerika is not happy with the result of these long discussions and meetings carried out last Sunday or yesterday po. And it will fragile talaga. It is fragile po, no? There is no guarantee that at the moment there's no guarantee that we are coming to an end of this Middle East conflict po. Dasal pa tayo po. Let's continue to pray po, no? Sana mag-change yung mga minds of our leaders dyan po sa discussion and meetings so that we will be back to a normal life po, no? Normal life, when I say normal life, ibig sabihin po, we'll back to yun mga presyo natin po ng gasolina, ng crude oil po, and hindi na tayo po mahirapan, no? Not like what is happening now, especially the third world countries, kagaya ang Philippines, wherein we are not a oil-producing country. We depend, we depend totally or mostly on the crude oil po, no? On the crude oil. And dahil dyan po, we depend ang crude oil sa Middle East. Ngayon, may shortage tayo o nahirapan mag-deliver ang crude oil ang fuel sa Pilipinas po. That is the reason why we see that prices, not only of fuel, but also essential goods and other things po, dependent on the fuel in the Philippines po, continue to jumbo rise. To continue to jumbo rise po. So, yan po ang sitwasyon sa Pilipinas, and this is it that I will be touching. I prepared some video clips po dito about what transpired or mga news regarding what transpired during the long discussions and meeting between representative coming from United States of America and of course their counterpart ang Iran, which is being mediated by Pakistan po sa Islamabad. Yun po nangyari. And I will be sharing with you itong mga video clips, 1 or 2 video clips po, so that you will have an idea what is really happening. And the other thing that I'm going to touch is another good news po. First, it's a bad news. Now, another good news. I will be sharing with you po some news regarding the Philippines about the prices of fuel or crude oil po or diesel or gasolina. Petrolya po dyan sa Pilipinas. And according to our mahal na Pangulo, si BBM, he announced via his blogging sa video clip po, he said that effective tomorrow, mayroon na tayo po rollback. Rollback ang presyo ng fuel dyan po sa Pilipinas. Whether it will greatly help ang mga affected parties concerned sa Pilipinas, itong rollback or not, later on you are going to see and listen itong mga video clips, and then it's up to you to make your own assessment. No? Up to you to make your own assessment. And 100% po, these are not, lahat ang mga news ko dito po, these are not fake news po. No? May basehan, may resibo tayo po when we talk about issues po. And the other thing is, the other topic that I'm going to touch today is about, for your information, especially all the supporters and loyalists of the Dutertes, especially supporters of Inday Sara Duterte, the Vice President of the Philippines, who earlier already made clear her intention to be a candidate in the 2028 presidential election po. So yesterday there was a ceremony attended by many supporters of the Dutertes, wherein ang mga Dutertes supporters as well as incumbent mayor of Davao, si Sebastian or Baste Duterte, took his oath as the new president of the party, ang PDP Laban po. Later, mayroon din tayo video clips po, no? Video clips. And what does it mean now that Baste is the new appointed party president of PDP Laban? So these are the things that I'm going to touch during ang programa natin po. Let's start with our first topic, and that is the discussion and meeting between representatives coming from America and Iran dyan po sa Pakistan. Let's watch and listen to this video clip po, so that you will really understand what is happening dyan po sa meeting na yan po. Nandito po, let me share with you itong first video clip natin. Hold on po. Alright, this is our first video clip. And nandito. Alright? Sandali, medyo nahirapan tayo. Paano ito, ha? Hold on. Alright. Hindi man ito mag-play. Sandali po. Alright. Okay. Alright. Nandito. Let's watch and listen to this.
The door, and the entire world is watching what happens next. 21 hours. That's how long J.D. Vance sat across from Iranian negotiators in the Pakistani capital of Islamabad, trying to end a war that has already shaken the Middle East to its core. 21 hours of back and forth, temperature swings, technical papers passed across the table, tense silences, and at the end of it all, nothing. No deal, no agreement, no path forward announced. And now Iran is saying there are no plans for another round of talks. Here's what's really happening. This wasn't just a meeting that failed. This was potentially the most important diplomatic conversation between the United States and Iran since 1979. Think about that for a second. The highest level face-to-face engagement between these two countries in near...
Alright, yun po, narinig natin ang first video clip natin, and klarong-klaro po, it's very clear. It was mentioned as announced by the international media that the result of the meeting was zero. No? No result. No result po. No commitments. Nothing at all. No? Nothing at all po. That's why I said, although the 2 weeks temporary ceasefire is still on, but during the meeting yesterday in Pakistan po, Islamabad, no result. No result. And Iran just shut the door, and they said there is no further negotiations. So what will happen ngayon po? What will happen sa mundo? What will happen sa ongoing conflict, ang gera between America, Israel, and Iran? What will happen to innocent civilians po, innocent people? What will happen to other countries po who are now deeply affected with the ongoing conflict dyan po sa Middle East? That is something that we should really seriously consider po, and if necessary, let us do something, especially ang mga gobyerno po, our government should really do something. No? We must have contingency plan na po. No? Although it's a little bit late, but it's better late than never. No? We must have contingency plans in the event the war in the Middle East will be further aggravated. No? It means mas lalo na po we will feel the pinch po. Okay, ang next video clip that I'm going to share with you po is the statement made by no less than the President of America, no less than the President of United States, and of course, hold on po. And of course, ang Vice President din ng sabihin natin na America. Nandito po. Let's watch and listen to this. Hold on. Ito po, si President Donald Trump. And then during the video clip, you will also hear ang statement made by Vice President of America, si Vance, Vice President Vance. Nandito, let's watch and listen to this. All done?
Have collapsed. No deal after long negotiations, and that's a big development. Iran is now saying it controls the Strait of Hormuz, very important waterway, and they're not backing down. We wanted open access. Very simple, but they refused. We also pushed for strong guarantees on nuclear activity. They didn't accept that either. And they tried to bring Lebanon into the deal, which was never part of our agreement. So we walked away. Sometimes you have to walk away. Now the ceasefire is still there, fragile, but the situation is very uncertain. The question is, do we return to talks, or does this move in a completely different direction?
Now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So we go back to the United States having not come to an agreement. We've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could, and they have chosen not to accept our terms.
Precisely what have they rejected here? Can you help us understand it a little bit?
Well, I won't go into all the details because I don't want to negotiate it in public after we negotiated for 21 hours in private. But the simple fact is that we need to see an affirmative commitment that they will not seek a nuclear weapon, and they will not seek the tools that would enable them to quickly achieve a nuclear weapon. That is the core goal of the President of the United States, and that's what we've tried to achieve through these negotiations. Again, their nuclear program, such as it is, the enrichment facilities that they had before, they've been destroyed. But the simple question is, do we see a fundamental commitment of will for the Iranians not to develop a nuclear weapon, not just now, not just 2 years from now, but for the long term? We haven't seen that yet. We hope that we will.
So, yon narinig natin po ang presidente ng United States of America as well as ang statement made by ang Vice President ng Amerika, si Vice President Vance, no? And what is next? Yon ang problema po. What is next po? Ngayon na walang resulta po, yon first meeting nila. First meeting nila po dyan sa Islamabad o dyan po sa Pakistan. Anong ang next move of President Donald Trump po? What will be his next move? And mayroon tayo dito mga balita po tungkol ang first move of President Donald Trump. And let's watch and okay, sana yan po. I'm trying to get ang news. And let's see, sandali po. Let's see. Okay. Sandali po. Tingnan natin kung nasaan na yan po. So at least, maskin paano, maskin na kunti lang ang mga balita po, some details, but at least you will have an idea kung ano talaga po ang next move ni President Donald Trump po when it comes to itong issue ng conflict dyan po sa Middle East. Alright, sandali po. Meron tayo dito. I'm looking for the news article. And Trump says, not a big fan. No, it's not. Trump, eto po. Andito po ang notisya after the meeting, after he made the announcement. Ito naman po ang lumabas sa national media, international media po regarding itong issue between America and Iran. President Donald Trump on Sunday ordered a U.S. naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz in the wake of failed peace talks with Iran. A significant escalation that would test an already fragile ceasefire. In a lengthy social media post and an interview on Fox News, Trump acknowledged that the marathon negotiations in Islamabad had gone well and most points were agreed to. But he said Tehran had been unyielding in its refusal to give up its nuclear ambitions and had failed to open the strait through which a fifth of the world's crude oil passes, a condition of the 2-week ceasefire currently in place. And he threatened China with a massive 50% tariff on its goods entering the United States if it decides to help Tehran militarily. Effective immediately, the United States Navy, the finest in the world, will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz, Trump said on his Truth social platform. Any Iranian who fires at us or at the peaceful vessels will be blown to hell. Grabe, no? Grabe po. Trump initially suggested that other countries would be involved in the blockade effort and then told Fox Sunday morning with Maria Batri-Romo that Britain and a couple of other countries would be sending minesweepers po. Kasi mayroon na yung mga mines dyan po, naglagay ang Iran dyan po sa Strait of Hormuz po, no? So they want to clear po, and any vessel that Iran will fire or will attack po, then they have to face the consequences po, dearly consequences po. Ibig sabihin, mag-retaliate talaga po ang Amerika po sa Iran. So yun po ang updates natin tungkol sa issue na ito. Next issue natin po, let's go to, since we are talking about Iran, Middle East conflict, and it is affected ang fuel dyan po sa mundo po, no? tumaas ang presyo. Now, mayroon din tayo dito, good news ba ito po or bad news para sa Filipinos? Anyway, kayo na bahala po to make your own assessment kung good news ba ito or hindi. But later on, I will be sharing with you some video clips po about ang reaction ng mga affected, especially mga drivers, no? Mga commuters, mga pasahero po. They express their feelings, feelings ba yun? Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Their feelings po, about the announcement of Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. po. He was, as a president, and my blog channel siya po, and he was the one who announced itong good news po. Ang rollback ng gasolina dyan po sa Pilipinas. Let's watch and listen to the announcement of
mga minamahal na kababayan.
our president, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. Nandito po, reporter na ang presidente natin. So at this, proud ako po na mayroon tayong reporter din po, journalist din po, not only senator but ngayon, presidente na po. Nandito. Let's watch and listen to this.
Sa ating mga minamahal na kababayan, meron po akong ibabalita sa inyo. Simula Martes, Abril na ang 14, may malaking rollback sa presyo ng langis. Mahigit 20 piso ang ibababa sa diesel. Ang gasolina naman, may bawas na 4 pesos 43 centavos kada litro. Kerosene, 8 pesos 50 centavos kada litro ang ibababa. Malaking tulong ito lalo na sa ating mga driver, sa mga commuter at sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino na araw-araw naapektuhan ng mataas ng presyo ng krudo. Hindi pa ito sapat, kaya tuloy-tuloy naman ang ginagawa ng inyong pamahalaan para maibsan ang epekto nito sa inyong pang-araw-araw na buhay. Hindi po tayo titigil hanggat hindi natin napababa ang gasto sa biyahe, sa pagkain at sa kabuuang pamumuhay ng ating mga kababayan. Sa mga susunod na araw at linggo, may aanoy sa buko na mga dagdag na hakbang at tulong mula sa gobyerno. Hindi natin hakayaang mapabayaan ang bawat Pilipino sa gitna ng mga hamong ito. Kaya tuloy-tuloy ang trabaho ng pamahalaan nang may maramdaman na ginhawa ang bawat pamilya. At yan ang tinututukan namin araw-araw. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, yun ang presidente natin. Already announced na mayroon tayong rollback effective tomorrow po, Tuesday, because every Tuesday po magpalit yun ang presyo ng fuel natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. So, palakpak natin po, no? Maganda. Dream come true. At this, no? For the past few weeks po, palagi na lang tayo increase ang presyo, roll up na lang po palagi ang gasolina, ang fuel natin sa Pilipinas. This time around, tomorrow, April 14, we are going to see a big rollback po. Magkano yun? Ang diesel is 20 pesos and gasolina 4 pesos and ang petrolyo is 8 pesos po, if I'm not mistaken. So rollback yun po. So maski paano, no? At least may rollback, no? But karamihan ng mga jeepney drivers, mga operators, mga pasahero, no? Parang sabi nila walang epekto ito. Remember, before itong conflict, ang presyo ng diesel, ng gasolina, dyan po sa, ang diesel, dyan po sa Pilipinas, is only playing between the 55 pesos to 60 pesos per liter. And dahil sa conflict, ngayon po, what? 170 pesos? 170 pesos po? Grabe, ano? Ang gasolina, 140, 145. Grabe. And do not expect na babalik itong old prices natin po, no? Maskin na ano mangyari dyan po sa sabihin natin sa Middle East, I don't think so po. Babalik tayo sa 55 or sa 60 per liter, no? Siguro it will take time, inshallah. Inshallah, let's hope and pray na babalik yun mga old prices natin po, no? And ano kaya ang reaction? Let me share with you itong video clip po, ang reaction ng mga jeep drivers natin, ang mga transportation operators, at saka ang mga pasahero po. Nandito. Let's watch and listen, and after that, kayo na bahala po to make your own assessment, opinion po, no? Whether may puntos ba ang mga drivers, operators, and mga taumbayan natin po tungkol itong issue na sabihin natin gasolina dyan po sa Pilipinas. Let's watch and listen to this video clip po. Sana yun? To this video clip. Nasaan na yan po? Sandali. Eto na po. Hold on. Nandito. Let's watch and listen to this. Let's watch and listen to this.
Jester, inaasahan natin na papatak nga yan mula sa 140, magiging nasa around 120 pesos na lang ang kada litro ng diesel. Pero good news man yan, but not good enough. Yan ang sentimiento ng mga kapatid natin, ng mga commuter, pati na rin mga tsuper na nakausap natin. Ayon sa kanila, sa kabila daw ng napipintong rollback, hindi daw nito matatapatan yung halos triple na itinaas ng presyo ng petrolyo at ng gasolina. Ngayong linggo, matumal ang biyahe ni Jo Marie na may rutang Nagtahan, Paco, Maynila. Kaya't inaasahan niyang kakarampot na naman ang kikitain sa pamamasada. Gigit niya, kahit may nagbabadyang big-time rollback, para kay Jo Marie, tila wala raw itong epekto.
Sa 20 pesos, sir. Sa akin lang, sir. Ano ba yan? Maliit pa yan, sir, sa amin. Na rollback.
Si Relly de la Cruz naman, duda na makakatulong ang rollback. Napakaliit raw kasi nito kumpara sa laki ng itinaas ng gasolina mula noong nakaraang buwan.
Hindi pa rin po dahil halos triple po yung ihas na diesel magmula nung gera ng Iran sa Iraq. Dati, magkano yung diesel natin? Naglalaro sa 56. Ikukumpara natin sa ngayon, magkano na? 148 kada litro. Irurubak nila sa 20 pesos. Hindi pa rin po sapat yun.
Ayon kay Energy Secretary Sharon Garin, posibleng mahigit 20 pesos ang tapyas presyo sa kada litro sa diesel sa Martes, April 14. Higit 4 pesos naman sa kada litro ng gasolina, habang sa kerosene, 8 pesos and 50 centavos ang inaasahang rollback. Base yan sa presyo sa international market. Pero gihit ni Garin, malabo nang bumalik pa sa 60 pesos ang kada litro ng petrolyo. Ayon sa industry sources, additional factor na rin sa bawas presyo ang kasalukuyang ceasefire sa pagitan ng Amerika, Israel at Iran. Pero para sa transport group na Manibela, may rollback o wala, hiling nila ay suspindihin na ang value-added tax o VAT at excise tax para mas makatulong lalo sa mga tsuper at commuter. Anila, hinuhulaan lang ng pamahalaan ng presyo ng rollback. Hindi rin daw nito makukumbinsi ang mga tsuper na bumalik sa pamamasada.
Yung pong pag-rollback ay hinuhula-hulaan, hindi po ba meron tayong sariling computation na rito kung magkano po talaga ang dapat i-rollback, kung magkano po ang itinawas nila sa world market. Kung rollback na yun, dapat po talaga ibaba na po, ibalik po dun sa dati.
Maging mga commuter, naniniwalang hindi raw sasapat ang isahang rollback, lalo't ramdam na rin nila ang pagtaas ng presyo ng mga bilihin.
Hindi sapat. Hindi sapat dahil sa tingnan mo, bilihin yung mga kulang. Pero sana naman maayos na ng gobyerno yung problema natin. Oo, tumataas nga sahod, pero bilihin naman tumataas din. Wala na rin, kaya tipid.
Sa April 14 ng rollback, kinabukasan, aarangkada na ang service contracting program na tatagal ng 2 hanggang 3 buwan. Sa ilalim niyan, ang pamahalaan na ang magbabayad sa mga tsuper para magtuloy-tuloy sa biyahe. Bukod dyan, ipapatupad na rin ang pamimigay ng fuel subsidy. Sasagutin ng gobyerno ang bawat 10 piso sa kada litro ng petrolyo ng mga PUV driver. Para naman sa mga pasahero, magkakaroon din ng 20% discount sa pamasahe. Maglalagay ng fare matrix ang mga kasali sa programa para malaman ng mga pasahero kung magkano ang dapat nilang ibayad.
Okay, yun po. Narinig natin po ang obserbasyon, ang comments ng mga drivers, operators, and ang mga commuters po, ang mga pasahero po. No? They are not optimistic na mayroon talagang epekto, malaking epekto itong rollback starting tomorrow ng fuel, ng gasolina, ng diesel, ng petrol natin dyan sa Pilipinas po. No? Dahil ang mga essential goods natin, no? Ang mga essential goods natin, tumaas din ang presyo. So, paano na yan po? Paano na yun? And, wala pang siguro po. Kung matuloy talaga ito, the conflict dyan po sa Middle East, if it will be aggravated po. Dahil the meeting yesterday, dyan po sa Pakistan, walang resulta po. And, ang door ng Iran, they closed already po. Wala na daw discussion meeting with America. So ano yun ibig sabihin yun po? Gulo na talaga ba ito? Or ano? Kayo nang bahala po. No? So para sa akin, I also agree na walang malaking epekto ito po. And there is no guarantee. Baka bukas, wala nang rollback after one day, tapos tataas naman ang presyo ng gasolina, diesel at petrolyo dyan po sa Pilipinas dahil po fragile ang 2 weeks ceasefire dyan po sa between America and Iran po. Kawawa talaga tayo po. Let's all pray na ang mga leaders natin po, ang presidente ng Amerika, ang Iran po, no? Mga leaders nila po will come to a long-term solution na po. Tapusin na ito po, stop the war and see what they can do po para at least we will enjoy peace on earth po, no? Peace on earth. So, yun. So the next topic before we will conclude itong programa natin po is of course I mentioned about ang political issue dyan po sa Pilipinas. Anong ibig sabihin ba ito po? Ang latest updates dyan po sa PDP laban. Sa PDP laban po. Wherein yesterday officially it was already announced that si Mayor Sebastian Baste Duterte, ang mayor ng Davao, was appointed to be the party president, no? Party president ng PDP Laban. And ang chairman, si ano pa rin po, ang tatay niya po, si Tatay Digong, si Rodrigo Roa, former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. The ceremony or the function was attended by a lot of PDP officers and supporters and members po, no? Ang dami sila po, which I will be sharing with you some video clips po and focus ako po sa mga mensahe ni newly appointed president of the party. He replaced ang former president ng partido, si Senator Ruben Padilla, of which he stepped down as party president last year yata yun, no? Last year, because he wants to focus more on sa trabaho niya pagka-senador. And ngayon, nandito na po si Baste Duterte na po ang presidente ng partido. And ang dami din po mga speculation sa kahaka, no? They said that the appointment of Baste Duterte will signal that si Baste Duterte will start the ball rolling sa kampanya para sa 2028 general election, no? General election wherein his own elder sister, si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, has officially made clear or announced her intention to be a candidate, no? A candidate for the presidential position on 2028. In fact po, based on the survey, election survey, political survey dyan po sa Pilipinas, nakita natin po, si Inday Sara Duterte remains top on the list. No? Siya po ang leading sa mga survey as a potential would-be president of the country come 2028, or she will succeed ang president post once si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos will step down from Malacanang po. And others were saying that it is also possible the maneuvering of ngayon po sa PDP Laban, this signals that this is a contingency plan B po ng mga Dutertes in the event something happens with Inday Sara Duterte. Remember, Inday Sara Duterte, most likely lang po, no? Most likely pa that she will be impeached by the Congress po, no? By the Congress anytime soon, no? Because tomorrow there will be also the second hearing proper dyan po sa House of Representatives, carried out by the Justice Committee, spearheaded by Representative Gabriel Luistro. No? I will be monitoring this function tomorrow po, because it will be live sa television, and whatever outcome or any important news po regarding or what transpired during the session po or the hearing, I will make sure that ang mga followers ko po dito sa Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico, will be properly informed. Will be properly informed. So, don't worry, nandito ang Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico. Okay, now let me share with you po ang 1, 2, or 3 video clip of Mayor Baste Duterte during the event yesterday po. No? Yesterday. Let's watch and listen to this, ang mga mensahe ni Baste Duterte. Ang unang-una po is, ito po, saan na yun, ha? Una-una is 203. Saan na yun? 203 po. Let's watch and listen to this. Alright? Nandito. Hold on.
Estimated loss to corruption umaabot na sa trillion. It doesn't make sense anymore. Saan mo pa gagastusin yung pera na kung nasa bulsa mo yan? For what? Magkano ba gusto mong yung kanin mo? Gusto mo 200 pesos per kilo? Gusto mo yung pinakamasarap na pagkain, pinakamasarap na steak? Ano ba gusto mo sa buhay mo? Ano yung mga yan, mayayaman na yan? Hindi pa sila nakukontento. Hindi na lang maawa ba? Kita na yung mga matatanda na mamalingki sa umaga, magdadala ng bayong, tapos mahihirapan mo pa, ngayon tumataas presyo ng lahat. Hindi sa nakatingin sa pangkaraniwang Pilipino ano ang buhay ng Pilipino. Ang tapos itong gago na to, patay na buwan maganda. Tayo, mga parallel groups, ilan? Pila to kabot? 600 parallel groups. Anong sinabi ng Vice Presidente? Siya ay tatakbong presidente, kumilos na tayong lahat. Chismis lang to, ha? Chismis, wala akong sinasabi. Puppet speaker lang yan yung speaker ngayon. Hindi ko lang alam sino yan, Charis. Basta narinig ko, Charis daw. Patay. Yun yung nasa puso ko, yun yung nasa isipan ko. Kung maniwala kayo, okay. Hindi kayo maniwala, okay lang din. Kung hindi ko maniwala tayo dito lahat, nabangag talaga yung gagawin nasa taas, alam nyo na anong gawin nyo. Ilagay natin ang
Alright, yun po, si Baste Duterte po, ang atake niya kay BBM, kay BBM. And another video clip that I want to share with you po ay ito. Let's watch and listen to this. Hold on po.
Let's reclaim the
Hold on.
country and give it.
Hold on po.
Let's reclaim the country.
Okay. Nandito, let's watch and listen to this po. Okay.
Let's reclaim the country and give it back to the people. Allahu Akbar.
Magkaisa tayo lahat. It's time to move. Move with positivity and optimism. Let go of yourselves. Give your all for the country. Lahat ng gagawin natin, hindi para sa atin, kundi para sa bayan natin. Let's make this happen. 2 taon, 2028 na. Kaya natin to. The surveys are telling. So we just have to push harder. Push harder. Huwag kayong titigil. And always remember, pagka you are facing adversity, hindi kayo nag-iisa. Ako si Mayor Sebastian Duterte ng Davao City. Kasama nyo. Magandang hapon sa inyo lahat. Mabuhay kayo. Allahu Akbar. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Mabuhay si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte.
Yan po, narinig natin si Baste Duterte, the younger brother of Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, who has just been appointed as the newly party president ng PDP Laban po, ng PDP Laban. Finally, mayroon pa tayo dito. Siguro pwede pa tayo isang video clip po. Let's watch and listen to
Tama yun,
this
kasi si Martin wala
video.
naman. Lahat ng politiko,
Hold on po. Sandali.
tama yun kasi
Ito po. Ano ba ito? Enough is enough, sabi ni Baste Duterte.
si Martin wala naman. Lahat ng politiko, kailangan bitawan natin yung mga pansarili nating gusto. We have to be selfless public servants. Unang-una yan sa lahat kung gusto natin talaga umangat itong bansa natin. Sabihin na natin, may nakawan nangyari, bigayan ng pera, whatever. Kasi that should be enough. Nagkaroon na kayo ng presidente that tolerated it. So what's next? Dadagdagan nyo pa? Nagpasarap na kayo ng sobra-sobra? Gusto nyo pa? You know, kung swerte na kayo sa buhay, it's time you give back to the people. Huwag nyo pahirapan yung mga tao. Tama na yan. Okay na yan. Siguro yung mga anak nyo maka-aral sa abroad, you can eat, in very nice restaurants. Tama na yan. That's okay. Isang ulo lang naman ang kailangan namin. Ang ulo ni Bongbong Marcos!
Alright, ayun, grabe po ang mga patsutsada ni Baste Duterte po kay BBM. So, kayo na depende na sa atin po. Depende na sa inyo po. What do you think? May mga puntos ba si Mayor Baste Duterte, who is now the president of PDP Laban po, or wala? But obviously, nakita natin po, this is already the start of election fever dyan po sa Pilipinas po. Kung sakali something will happen to Inday Sara Duterte sa impeachment, sa impeachment po, then sabi ang mga tao po, narinig natin, even ang mga Filipinos dito sa Sabah, they say, at least, ready na po to replace si Inday Sara Duterte. And sana lang po it will not happen po. Pero may spare tire na po ang mga Duterte. Hindi lang si Baste Duterte ang spare tire, mayroon din po si Congressman Polong is also ready to replace in the event something happens to their sister, si Inday Sara Duterte's impeachment. But most likely, when it comes to the impeachment trial dyan po sa Senado, I don't think so po they will find it easy to convict si Inday Sara Duterte. Si Inday Sara Duterte, and once she is convicted, and it means she will be disqualified from running any position po sa gobyerno, no? Sa gobyerno. Sa Kongreso, yes, ako din po, I totally agree na they can get the number yon 1/3, no? 1/3 votes from all the congressmen, that is 106. I think they will get it, and they will be able to impeach si Inday Sara Duterte sa House of Representatives. Pagdating naman sa Senado, mahirap na yun po. No? Mahirap na yun ang whether she will be convicted or not. So yun ang mga latest updates natin na kayo na bahala po. Think about it and make a good decision po. So far, if you ask me, so far, I still agree that many Filipinos po, they believe that the most qualified individual to be the next president of the Philippines is no other than Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Duterte po. But anything can happen. No? Anything can happen from now until May of 2028. So with this, siguro, dito na lang po ang programa natin muna on a Monday afternoon, April 13 po, hanggang dito na lang muna tayo po. And I'll make sure that whatever mga updates sa Pilipinas, I'll make sure that lahat kayo po, mga followers dito po sa Nick Talk, Radio Talk with Nico, you will be properly informed. In the meantime, once again, si Nico Fabian would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day-to-day. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. I'll see you in my next episode. Bye! Ingat, Godspeed, and I love you all.